folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and we're going to look at another game show tribute, and this is a look at the great classic Card Sharks, or at least the versions from 1978 to 81 on NBC and 1986 to 89 on CBS. Let's look at some more information about these shows. We'll start with the 1978 to 81 series. It was on NBC at around 9 or 10 in the morning, and later on noon. It ran from April 24, 1978 to October 23 of 1981. 864 episodes. It replaced Sanford and Son reruns and was replaced by Password Plus in its new time slot. Its creator was Chester Feldman. Directors were Paul Alter and Mark Breslow. Producer Jonathan Goodson. Production company Mark Goodson, Bill Todman. Host was Jim Perry. Announcer was Gene Wood. It was taped at NBC Studios in Burbank, California. The dealers were Ann Pennington, Janice Baker, Lois Hamilton, and Kristen Bjorklund.
Ace is high. Deuce is low. Call it right and win the dough on Card Sharks. And here's the host of Card Sharks, Jim Perry.
Thank you, man. I thank you, friends. Thank you for joining us on Card Sharks. Oh, yes. Love it. Thank you for coming down. Thank you for joining us at home. Card Sharks, it's a game of decisions. You can win a fortune on the turn of just one single card. I hope sometime you'll come down and join us. Right now, let's get to the cards. Janice and Ann, if you will, start loading in the cards. The red card's on top to be played by the champion. The lower card's the blue card to be played by the challenger. And now let's meet today's Card Sharks. This is our champion, Royce Moss. Hello there, Royce.
So even before the start of the game, the dealers would fill up 5 cards, 5 each for the champion, which had the red cards on the top, and 5 for the challenger on the bottom, who had the blue cards. So to actually start the game off, a toss-up question was asked pertaining to the number of 100 people that were surveyed as to how many gave a particular answer to that question. Like, we asked 100 people, how many have you had sex at work? How many said yes? So after that, the other player stated whether they thought the actual response was higher or lower than that amount after the first player gave the number. If the higher or lower player was right, they played their cards first. If not, the other player did. So here you can see the player on the right gave their number to the amount of people they thought answered a particular way to a question. And then the player on the left thought that the actual number was going to be lower. And it says in the middle that the actual number was lower. So the contestant on the left gets to play their cards first. Now, the playing of the cards. The winner of the question has the first of 5 cards revealed by Jim. They have the option to change the card once if they don't like it. They go through their cards guessing if the next is higher or lower. If they miss, then that card and all preceding except for the first card are discarded. The player could freeze on an undesirable card if they wished. If the question winner didn't make it through all 5 cards, the other player got a chance at their cards. A player that didn't win the question could not change the first card or a freeze card. If both players failed to make it through all 5 cards, a new question was asked. If all 4 questions were used, then the players played the cards back and forth until someone played through all 5. If the players tied 1 game apiece, then a third tiebreaker game with 3 cards was played, with a maximum of 3 questions. The winner of 2 games played the money cards bonus game. they won $100 per game in the main game. Starting in 1980, a $500 bonus was given for an exact survey number match.
Okay.
We polled 100 ex-convicts, gentlemen who have spent time in jail, and we asked those ex-convicts, do you think the judge gave you a fair sentence? And of course, we want to thank the ex-convicts for taking part in our poll, as we thank everyone who does. Do you think the judge gave you a fair sentence? One of the ex-convicts said. How many said yes?
How many said yes? I don't think very many of them would, because they always say it's a bum rap. I would say... I'd say... 16 said yes.
16. Sue Ann says that 16 of the ex-convicts said that the judge gave them a fair sentence. Higher or lower, Royce?
I think it's a very good answer, but I would say a little lower than that. I don't
You
think
say even lower.
Not sentence.
All right. So if it is lower, Royce, you go to the board first. If not, Sue Ann does, and I'll find out as you do. The actual number of ex-convicts who said the judge gave them a fair sentence is 59. Not lower, it's higher. Sue Ann, yeah. They had a little more understanding than you thought. Sue Ann, we'll take a look at your base card. You answered the question. You have the right to change this base card if you'd like. You have a 7. You want to play that or change it?
Change it. I don't...
Here's the next card off the top of your deck, and this one you must play. It is a 9. Not too much of a change. Sue Ann, is this card higher or lower than that?
Lower.
Lower than a 9. Remember, if it's another 9 you lose, it must be lower than a 9.
Lower.
It's a king. It is not lower. And not only do you lose that card, but that gives Royce a free play at his cards and a look at his base card. It's a king.
Yeah. Good.
You couldn't change it if you wanted to, but I don't think you want to. Call this
Next card would be lower.
Lower than a king. It is a 10. Now, Royce, remember, you can freeze here and protect yourself, or you can continue calling all the way across the board. But of course, you lose all the cards if you're wrong.
I'll go on. Next card, I think, would be lower.
Lower
Yes.
than a 10. It's a queen. Couldn't do it. You lose both of those cards. Janice, if you will, fill in the spaces. And Royce, we'll go to a question to you. Okay. We asked 100 men in California, have you ever made love to a woman the first time you went out with her? How many said yes?
Interesting question.
Now, Royce, up until now, you've had an extraneous comment on every question. Isn't it interesting? You haven't said anything about this one.
Next card is higher.
Higher than a 5? It's
all right. That's a good one. I better continue. And the next card has got to be lower than the ace.
Only an ace would lose. Lower than an ace.
Low.
It's an 8.
Okay. I'm going to freeze.
You'll freeze it right there. All right. We can't take those cards away from you. You need just 2. You've kept Sue away from her cards, and the question goes to you. Your base card is a king.
Yes, sir. And the next card will be lower.
Lower than a king. It is an 8. Oh, now, right up the middle with one card to go for the win, Lee. What are you going to do?
I'm going to freeze.
You're going to freeze.
I'm going to freeze.
Does not want to take the risk.
No, don't let her play the cards.
Question to you, Debbie.
Get rid of it.
And you have a 4. That's a better change. Call this one, Sue Ann.
I will say the next card is higher.
Higher than a 4. Royce wants a deuce. She wants higher.
Higher.
Come on.
It is a 6. It is high.
Okay, I will play on, and I will say the next card is higher.
Higher than a 6. It's a big ace.
I will play on, and I will say the next card is lower.
Lower than an ace. It's a 3.
I will play on, and I say the next card is higher.
You're risking them all, but if this is higher, we have a new champion. Sue Ann, higher than a 3. It's a jack. She got 4 cards. Yes, indeed. Sue Ann, congratulations. Fine win.
Well, here's the bonus game, the money cards. There were 3 tiers with a total of 8 cards dealt. The contestant was given $200 to start and had to bet at least $50 that the next card was higher or lower. The first card on each tier could be changed once. $200 was added to the player's total on the second tier, and on the top tier, the player had to bet at least half their money. Losing all their money lost the game unless they were about to move up a level for $200. Let's see how that went.
And Sue Ann Murray, our new champion. Congratulations, Sue Ann.
Thank you.
Are you ready now to go after the big dollars?
Yep.
You've got $200 for winning the match. And now we're going to open the board and get to the money cards. All right, Sue Ann. Now the $200 you won in the match, that's yours to keep. Now we've got brand new cards, all shuffled and cut, and we're going to give you new money to play with. This time you're going to bet that money. Starting on the bottom line, $200. Bet it as you will with these 3 cards. When you move up to the second level, we add another $200 of betting money. Minimum bets are $50 until you get to that top card, that big bet. And there you must bet at least half the dollars. It can really add up. I hope you do very well.
Thank
You all
you.
relaxed and ready?
Yes.
Good luck. Let's get good cards. We'll start you with $200. And as always, a choice of 2 base cards. And the first base card is a 3. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
You're going to play it. Sue Ann, $200 and a 3. What's your bet?
I'll bet all of it that the next card is higher.
Did you say all of it, Sue Ann?
All
of it.
200.
Now remember, it must, as in the game, it must be higher than a 3. $200 higher than a 3. It's a 9. $400 and a 9. What's your bet here?
I will bet $100 that the next card is lower.
$100 lower than a 9. It's the Jack. But you had good intuition there because you only lost the $100. Pretty good card here at Jack. You have $300. What's your bet
I will
here?
bet 300 that the next card is lower.
Now, Suzanne, are you letting them talk you into something out there?
No.
$300 lower. It's on you now. Remember, you
Yes.
talked her into it. Lower than a Jack. $300. Let's be there. Oh, it's a king. You lost the $300, but you're not out of it yet because you've got a good card, the king. And remember, I said we move it up to the next level and add the $200. So it gives you another $200 to play with a good card, Sue Ann. What's your
I'll bet 200 that the next card is lower.
All right, if you're wrong now, it's all over. So we've got to build it up. Lower than a king for $200. It's another king. My goodness gracious. Sue Ann, those cards were not working for you. Come on down here. That was terrible the way they were falling.
I know.
You got to
Well, that was rather depressing. Let's look at a better money cards bonus round this time.
All right, Corinne. Now at $100 a game, you won $200 for winning the match. That's yours to keep. Now we're going to give you new money to play with, and this time you're going to bet that money. Brand new deck, all shuffled and cut. $200 on the bottom line. Bet that as you will with those 3 cards. On the second level, we add another $200 of betting money. And again, you bet them as you wish. $50 minimum bets until you get to that top card, that big bet, and there you must bet at least half the dollars. Good luck. $200 to start with. And as always, a choice of 2 base cards. And we have first, a king. Good card to start with. You going to keep it?
I think I'll keep it.
$200 and a king. What's your bet here?
Okay, I'm going to bet the whole thing that the next card will be lower.
Now remember, as in the game, if it's another king you lose, it must be lower. $200 lower than a king. It's a 7. $400 now, Corinne.
Okay, I'm going to bet $200 that the next card will be lower.
Lower. That you're going to guess the odds, you realize a little bit, right? Okay. I wish you luck. $200 lower than a 7. It's a 5. Was that woman's intuition?
Touch on that.
$600 and a 5 now, Corinne.
Okay, I'm going to bet $500 that the next card will be higher.
You're a gambling lady. $500 higher than a 5. It's a jack. $1,100. And we take the jack and move it up here. Add the other $200 of betting money. Corinne, you now have $1,300 and a jack.
Okay, I'm going to bet $1,000 that the next card will be lower.
You're a big bettor. $1,000 lower than a jack. It's a 3. Very much lower. $2,300 now, Corinne, with a 3.
Okay, I'm going to bet $2,000 that the next card will be higher.
$2,000. Higher than a 3 for $2,000. It's an 8. $4,300 now with an ace.
Okay, I'm going to bet the whole thing that the next card will be lower.
Corinne, you will have absolutely nothing, or you will have $8,600 for the big bet. $4,300 bet lower than an ace. It's an eight. $8,600. We move the 8 up. Now listen carefully with the big bet, Corinne. You must bet at least $4,300. You can bet more. You have $8,600 and an 8. What is your big bet?
Okay, I'm going to bet half of it that the next card will be... half of it that the next card will be lower.
Lower. Betting $4,300 lower than an 8. It's a $12,900. That's lovely. Come on down here. Congratulations. Congratulations.
We're out of debt.
Oh, you did, Patrona. Hope you'll join us next time to find out how it all comes out. We're starting with sudden death next time on Card Shark. Bye-bye.
This is Gene Wood speaking for Card Sharks. A Mark Goodson, Bill Codman production.
Well, let's look at some final thoughts on the 78 to 81 series of Card Sharks. It was based on the card game AC Doocy. It had a fantastic set, one of my favorite in game shows, and a great host in Jim Perry. Jim was born in the U.S. but also lived in Canada and hosted some game shows there. Jim was 6'4" and an excellent athlete and singer. Jim was also famous for Sale of the Century from 1983 to 89. Late in the show's run, a push, which was the same card that you just uncovered, did not lose your bet in money cards. Decks were shuffled and cut before the show. There was a limit of 7 wins for a contestant. And the max money card win of $28,800 was won once on the pilot and once in the regular series, as far as I know. Freezing kept the opponent from playing, and another question was asked. The theme originally was used in Double Dare from 1976 to 77. Opening poems were eventually submitted by viewers. Changing the first card on each tier in money cards may not have been an option until later on in the series. But now let's look at the 86 to 89 version of Card Sharks, or at least a little bit of it.
You can win this beautiful car on the turn of a single car on Card Shark. And if you play your cards right, you can win $32,000. And now, the host of Card Shark, Bob Eubanks.
Well, thank you, Gene Wood. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Card Sharks. We hope you're having a nice day so far. Maybe we can add to it with a little fun in our show for the next half hour. We'll meet our Card Sharks, but right now, let's meet our two dealers. They're with us every morning, and we just couldn't do it without them. Here they are, the two prettiest ladies in television, Lacey Pemberton and Susanna Williams, our dealers on Card Sharks. I'm talking about it.
Thank you.
Hi, Doug. Okay, if you deal the cards, we'll get the gang out here, and we'll start playing this game. Come on, Curtis Mwanda, our two Card Sharks. All right, yeah. Curtis is our champion. He's won $3,000, and he's ready to play, I can tell.
Well, let's look at some information on the second series of Card Sharks. It ran from January 6, 1986 to March 31 of 1989. There were 826 episodes. The syndicated version ran from September 8, 1986 to June 5, 1987 and was 195 episodes. The executive producer was Chester Feldman and Jonathan Goodson. Producer was Mimi O'Brien. Production company Mark Goodson Television Productions. Distributor the Television Program Source. And it was filmed at CBS Television City in Hollywood, California. The hosts were Bob Eubanks for the CBS version and Bill Rafferty for the syndicated version. The theme was by Ed Kalehoff, and I thought it was terrible compared to the 78 to 81 version. The announcer was Gene Wood again. It aired around 10:30 in the morning. It replaced Press Your Luck and was replaced by the new Now You See It. It generally aired after Family Feud and before The Price is Right. Now let's look at some differences between this and the original version. At some point in the series, surveys were of just 10 people with a similar characteristic, career, age, etc., and they were shown to be in the audience in the front row. Guessing the exact amount here won just $100, and those 10 people would also share $100. General knowledge trivia questions were added late in 1986. There was $500 then for guessing the target number. The syndicated version had prize cards. A prize was won if the game was won by the contestant that had that prize, and then that card would be replaced with another card, a regular playing card. The syndicated version had 4 questions in round 1, 3 in round 2, and 2 in round 3, and later 3 in round 1, and later it was a 4-4-3 format. 1 question was given in round 3 late in the CBS series. The push rule was permanent throughout the CBS run, and I think syndicated run as well. The CBS winnings limit was $75,000 or 5 wins, and there was a maximum of $32,000 possible on the money cards. 3 change cards were allowed on the money cards wherever a contestant wanted. Even multiple changes on one card was allowed, but that was later dropped. $400 were given for moving to the second money cards tier. Beginning in September, champions could win a new car after the money cards. 3 joker cards were shuffled into the money cards deck, and maybe later 4. If a joker was revealed, the player selected on a rack of cards 1 to 7 which to place the joker or jokers in front of. If the host revealed the card to say car, they won it. During the Kids Week, this was a Hawaii trip. Later, a car was won via an audience poll with an answer with a 0 to 10 numbered board. Well, there was a 2001 version syndicated hosted by Pat Bullard, and a 2019 to present version on ABC hosted by Joel McHale. And now let's look at some highlights from syndicated and CBS Card Sharks.
You can win $32,000 on the turn of a single card on Card Sharks. And if you play your cards right, you can win this beautiful Cadillac Fleetwood sedan. Now, here's the star of Card Sharks, Bill Rafferty.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Gene Wood. What a man. Thank you so much. Everybody to Card Sharks, you know, we've just loaded up this game with new prizes. We've got cash, we've got trips, we've got a whole bunch of things going on right now. It's exciting, and there's no reason to waste any time with me jabbering at the top of the show. Let's meet our lovely dealers. Here they come right now. Oh, yeah. Lacey Pemberton and Susanna Williams. First question coming up right now, audience polling question. We have in our audience today 10 aspiring actors and actresses. Come on up. There they go. Nice to have them with us. Aspiring actors and actresses is kind of another word for starving actors and actresses. They're trying to make a buck here in town, and it is tough. I know that for a fact. Anyway, here's our first question. Goes to Susie. Before the show, we asked these 10 aspiring actors and actresses, do you spend more money on acting lessons than you do on clothes? How many of these 10 actors and actresses do spend more money on acting? Tell me what you want to do.
I need, King, we're going to go lower. We're going to go lower. We're going to go lower.
We've got a jack.
We're going to go lower.
Jack, we've got a 5. going higher than a 5. We've got a 6.
Freeze. I'm going to freeze.
You'll freeze on the 6. You play on, but if you make a mistake, that means that Vern is automatically the winner. Or you could pass control of the board over to Vern.
I got to go for it.
She's going to go for it. No one's getting into the speech. Let's take a look at the base card. You got a 4. Higher than a 4. An 8. Lower than an ace for the game and the match. There it is. It's $8,000 on the turn of a card.
Be there.
$4,000 lower. It is. Terrific right now, which means you will have one opportunity to try and find the car. There are 7 numbered cards over there behind. One of them is the word car. You find the word car, you're going to drive out of here in a Cadillac. Go put your joker wherever you want.
I'm doing this for my 3-year-old daughter. My 3-year-old daughter. It's lucky. It's got to be lucky.
It's got to be lucky. If the word car is here, it's all yours. Car!
Lower than the ace. Higher! Is it higher? No. No, it's not. Marlon, now.
Here we go.
Here we go again, my friend. 5.
Higher.
Higher than the 5. Nope. Not higher. The number of single women who have said most men they have dated have lied is 87 of them. Yeah. Even higher than the 72. Okay, Julie. Got the ace.
Good card. Lower.
I knew you'd say that.
Lower.
Is it? Yeah.
Freeze.
1,300.
Change that card.
Yeah.
Change that card with number 1.
Number 1. Okay. See what the 9 is. 9's now 7. Yucky cards. $1,300.
$1,300.
You got 3 chances to win it. Come on, kid. The actual number of these executives whose secretary calls them by their first name is 10. Son of a gun, doggone heck, phooey, and all of that. That's all right. You still end up with $2,150. Card Sharks, before we go, I want to say this is our last show. There's another wonderful show coming on the air. Will be replacing us hereafter. But I want to thank some people, if I can, right now. Let me just start very quickly. First of all of the CBS personnel, you're just wonderful. All of the Mark Goodson personnel, you're just sensational. Breslow, you're the best. Tim, thank you very much. Gene Wood, couldn't do it without you. Patty Q Cards and her staff. Wendy Makeup, Kathy Makeup, Jody Hare, Sid and Bobby Chick, over Mimi, Jonathan, Murphy, Gary, Mark, everybody. Thank you so very much. And it's real tough for me, you guys. When we walked on the stage one time, we were 3... oh, shoot. When we walked on the stage, we were 3 strangers. We walk off the stage with lifetime friendships. And I want to dedicate the last 3 years to Carol Costello, who left us right after the show started, and Donna Jean took over. So thank you for that. Bye-bye. See you next time.
This is Gene Wood speaking for Card Sharks, a Mark Goodson television production.
Well, some final thoughts on Card Sharks. I think only during the second run could the winner of a survey question opt to give control to their opponent. But one other thing, I liked the first version of Card Sharks best. I thought Jim Perry was the best host, and I thought that the theme was the best. And lastly, the dealers for the 86 to 89 version were Lacey Pemberton and Susanna Williams. Well, I thank you for watching my tribute to Card Sharks. Hope you have a great Super Bowl. I will see you later in the future with another video. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.
This is Gene Wood speaking for Card Sharks, a Mark Goodson, Bill Codman production.